Welcome to Tim Anderson Horse Training. Today I'm going to show you this horse. I'm working on transitions. I'm trying to make his transitions better. I'll show you where we're at. I'll show you what things I'm working on. There's some things that need to be better. I'll show you what those are, and I'll show you what I'm doing to improve them. This horse is going to be showing in ranch riding, so transitions are very important, but it doesn't really matter what you show in. Transitions are always a big part of what you're being judged on, and even if you're not doing a judged event, you always want your horse transitioning correctly so that he's using his body correctly. So let's bring him back up to a trot. I'll come around where I'm straight, and then I'm going to ask for an extended trot. Now what I want with this horse, I want to post in my extended trots. That's the way the horse is going to be shown. So when I start posting, I want him to speed up. When I come back down to a regular trot, I want him transitioning on my body. I don't want to have to pull. So what I'll do is I'll sit and I'll start riding the trot. Pretty close to what I wanted. Felt his hand, his mouth touched my hand a little bit. When he transitioned and fell on his front end a little bit. When he did, he bumped my hand. So let's do that again. Let's extend. I'll come back in front of the camera and I'll transition down to a regular trot again. That was better. Oh, we broke to a walk. Come on. That was better. He still fell on his front end, and that's why he came down to a walk. He lost his impulsion in the back. He kind of lost his roundness. So what I'm going to do to help encourage that roundness, to help make it better, I'm going to ask him to bridle up a little bit more while we're doing our extended trot. Bridle him up. I'm really using my legs a little bit more. Ask him to pick his back up a little more. And what I'll do is I'll transition down to a regular trot, and then I'm going to bridle him up again. Regular trot and bridle. There we go. Back to an extended trot. Pick my hand up, pick his back up with my legs. Now I'm going to get soft on his face. Regular trot. There we go. That one wasn't too bad. When I started talking, he slowed down. He didn't lose his frame like before. He slowed down because I was talking. That was a better one. Walk him just a minute. Good boy. What I'm doing there, after he transitions, I'm asking him to really collect up. By collecting him up, that's lifting his back, that's engaging his back end. That's going to help him do his transitions with his back end more engaged. That's typically the problem when you have a horse that's not downward transitioning well. It transitions and then it falls on his front end. So that's what you do to fix that, is you transition, you round up, you ask the back end to engage. So let's go ahead and work to a lope to trot transition. Let's see what we get. It's going to be something similar, but let's see what we get. So I'm going to ask him to lope in the right lead, left leg back. Now, when you're showing ranch riding, you don't want slack in the rein. There's a penalty for that. When I'm schooling, a lot of times I'll give them a pretty loose rein because I want them to hold themselves framed up on their own. So I'll practice with a looser rein than what I'm going to show. When I'm showing, I can keep that contact. I can help them a little more. When I'm practicing, I'm going to give them a little more slack than what I would use than what I would give them when I was showing. All right, so I'll come around. I'll be on a loose rein. I'm going to ask him to come down to a trot. Got to maintain. He came all the way down to walk, so I'm going to bridle him up. Bridle, 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 so he can engage. Keeps his back up, back in, engage. Give him some slack. Let's ask again. Load one more time around. I ask him to bridle up. Feel him kind of falling on his front end a little bit, losing his engagement in his back end. Come around, I'll do another transition to a trot in front of you. Okay. One of the things that I've had to work on with this horse is he started out as a really nice reining horse. So in his mind, he wants to come down from a lope to either a slow lope or to a stop. In a reining, you never come down from a lope to a trot. And in fact, he's been punished for that, because if you trot in your pattern, it's a penalty. So that has been a big thing that we've had to work on with him, to get him to come down from his lope to his trot, because that's something that he's actually been taught is a bad thing to do. Right then, when I asked for that, he really wasn't sure. He wanted to come down to a stop or a walk like he did before, but I kept driving him forward, but I kept relaxing my body, asking him to go slower, but keep going. Didn't fall on his front end after he did the transition. But the part about slowing down to a trot, we've had to spend a lot of time working on. So let's do the same thing in the other lead. We're going to ask for a lope to trot transition. Once he gets the lope to trot transition better, I'll start asking for a lope to an extended trot. That's a harder one to do. So let's start with the lope to trot. And right leg back, let's lope. Again, I'm going to have him on a more slack rein than I would if I was showing him. I want him to take account for his own body frame. I'll help him, I'll frame him up, and then I'm going to get soft. When I'm showing, I'll take the slack out of the reins and show him with more contact. Then we'll come around in front of you, and I'll do a transition to a trot. I'll hum when I want to slow down. Keep going. Again, he came down. He did fall on his front end a little bit that time, so I bridled him up. And he came all the way down to walk, which is one of the things that I've had to spend a lot of time working on. Let's do that again. We're not changing leads. I'll come around in front of you. I'll ask for another transition to a walk. Try to ask a little softer this time. Keep driving him forward so that he stays in a trot and doesn't come down to a walk. Bridle him up. And get soft. So this horse has some more to go to learn how to transition from a lope to a trot without breaking to a walk. That's something we need to master for him to really be competitive. It shows you how I'm working that. When he comes down, he transitions down, I ask him to really bridle up. He is kind of falling out of frame a little bit in his downward transitions, and that is what's typical. If you're having trouble with your downward transitions with your horse, it's usually from them falling out of frame. Bridle them back up, keep bridling back up after you transition. If you want to see some more videos on steering, stopping, and leg control, I'll put a link up top. Until next time, thank you for watching.